You've probably heard me say this several times in either blogs, videos on social media. Social media is going to be really important to digital marketing in 2021 just because of its reach, how you can target, and the audience available to you in social media. One of the ways that it's going to be important to use is also one of the reasons that's going to make it so difficult to use correctly. And that's the fact that everybody has access to it. It's never been more accessible for any business of any size to go and market on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you're advertising or wherever your audience is. And what makes it so difficult is because of that ease of accessibility, everybody is going to be doing it. So your ad really needs to stand out and it really needs to be successful. So without further ado, we are going to be recapping this blog and talking about the 6 ways that you can succeed with social media marketing in 2021. The first tip we're going to review when it comes to social media marketing in 2021 is essentially the most basic, and that is choosing the right platform for your audience. You want to make sure that you're marketing your ad or your message to the folks that need to hear it. You don't want your ad or your message to fall on deaf ears. And a lot of that has to do with choosing the right platform that makes the most sense for your business and your audience. We talk about it all the time. It's all over our website. We talk about it with every client we meet with. And that's identifying your audience, figuring out who that audience is, and then delivering them the right message at the right time. And that is what choosing the right platform is going to do for you. If you're professional services, making sure you're on LinkedIn or any of those places where people that are in that mindset to make that type of decision are living. If you're very media rich or targeting a demographic that is slightly younger, Instagram is a great choice. Facebook, if you're targeting a wide variety of people. TikTok, if you're looking for a more engaged younger audience. Making sure you're choosing the right audience and the right platform is the first step for success in social media marketing in 2021. The next kind of tip is to use professional media. The last thing people want to see and the last thing people engage with when they're scrolling through is non-professional or unclear images, things that just don't look professionally built or professionally done, or even on brand for your brand. When people are scrolling, they're scrolling miles and miles with their thumb every day. You want them to stop. You want them to engage, and you need a message that speaks to them. And the number one way to do that is use media that is professional. Make sure that it's well lit. Make sure you're using great equipment. And you don't have to have a professional camera. You can do this with an iPhone, any type of Android. Just make sure that when you're taking that photo, it's not distracting. It's very clear. It's got great light to it, and it's very focused. You want to make sure that the element you're trying to use is the focal point of the image. But by using quality media is going to get that attention, it's going to get that engagement, and it's going to get people to stop scrolling and engage with your brand. Next up is something that makes social media very special, is in the fact that you can run multiple targeted campaigns from one platform. And the key for this is to not just run one message to everybody. You want to run specific ad sets or specific messages to individual groups based on their audience, who they are, how they've interacted with you in the past. Have they never interacted with you in the past? Have they interacted with your competition? There's multiple different ways and multiple different messages you can run on all of these ad platforms. Facebook will allow you to run multiple campaign sets, multiple ads, and multiple ad sets depending on who your audience is. On the blog specifically, it talks about being a potential motivational speaker, and that's targeting people that are C-suite executives and having a message specifically for those C-suite executives. But maybe you also want to book one-on-one motivational speeches for smaller groups, different people that are trying to be motivated, different people you're trying to reach. Make sure that your message and your audience is very specific and they're one. And make sure that you're not just putting all of your message into one campaign to target all of your potential audiences, because unless it's very specific, it's going to fall on deaf ears and people are going to scroll right past your message. The next tip is something that is going to make me sound like a broken record because I mentioned it on the last video. It's not going to be the last time you hear me talk or write about it, but using appropriate landing pages for your campaigns. You want to make sure that the landing pages you're sending people to from your ads are relevant to the messaging and the ads, and they're designed to convert those visitors. You want to make sure that that last tip we talked about, the motivational speaker that is targeting the C-suite executives, you want to make sure that the people that engage and decide to click on that ad are getting the right page of your website that speaks the same lingo and the same message of that ad. That's what's going to get people to convert on your message. It's what's going to get people to make a buying decision because you're taking them down a funnel and you're guiding them through the path from the audience to the message to the page you want them to land on that is giving them the call to action that is relevant to them. One of the great things about this day and age is that we have access to so many different types of marketing and all sorts of different types of platforms that we can use. So the next tip is to pair social media with other platforms. And that could be using location-based targeting with social media by identifying where people go based on their device GPS and then building that audience and marketing to that audience through social media. Or it could be using social media and how they've already engaged with your website. Are they seeing a different campaign based on how far they've been in your website or which pages they've engaged with? That's the way that you're going to be able to capitalize on social media, is by using multiple platforms. Also, using as many social media platforms that make sense for your business. Don't just stick to one. Use multiple and combine them together to make one cohesive brand story. That's what's going to allow you to be successful, is when you are giving someone a compelling story and a compelling message that follows them around the web and uses multiple platforms to drive people to your website that can convert to visitors. This next tip is going to sound kind of contradictory, but you want to rotate ads and stick with what works. And what I mean by that is social media is very repetitive. You keep seeing the same things over and over and the same ads over and over again. You want to make sure that your ads are staying fresh and that you're rotating media, you're rotating language, and you're rotating different verbiage and pairing that together with different media to see what works. That's why you want to rotate those ads. You want to make sure they stay fresh in people's minds. You want to make sure they grab people's attention, but you want to make sure that if they keep seeing the same thing over and over again, you change it up and you make sure that they're seeing a new message or something new that's going to catch their eye. But to that counterpoint, you also want to stick to what works. If you have an ad set or you have a campaign that is really driving home visitors to your website, make sure that you're still running that and it's getting the budget it deserves, because it's getting clicks, it's getting engagement, it's getting conversions to new customers. So you want to make sure you're constantly moving around your different targeted ad groups, your different campaigns. You're mixing and matching different language with different images to potentially get a better result. And then once you know what's working, you can stick with that while still making updates to a different set of ads while you have this great set that you know is working that is continuing to run. So those are the 6 ways that you can really find great success in social media marketing in 2021. It is a very crowded media. It is very congested and it's noisy. There's a lot of people marketing and there's a lot of different ads that are running. So you need to make sure that you're using this advice, you are capitalizing on a very specific message, and you're trying to reach a very specific audience. That way your ads will have the most success in 2021. If there's anything you want to cover specifically in this that you want me to write about, want me to do a new video on, please let me know. I'd love to cover any topic specifically, as narrow or as niche as you want it to be. So I hope you can take these things and apply them to your business. My advice always is to try things, try again, fail fast, fail quickly, make changes so we can have the best campaign possible. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you guys in the next video.